Good morning, children. Today I am going to start a chapter that is the gift of Magi from your E.L.R. chapter 11. This chapter we have got it for our finals. Okay. So please try to understand the chapter very well. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to explain it in my words to you, and then I'll send you all the chapter where you all are going to read, and any questions from within the chapter, please tell me. Okay. So this is the chapter where this girl Bella is very important, and you can find here what is highlighted, the hair which Della has got. A very important part of the chapter. Okay. With that, let me tell you all, the second important character in the chapter is Jim, her husband, who has got a golden rimmed watch. Okay. That watch is also very important in the chapter. The main chapter runs around the sacrifice of Della for her husband and her husband Jim, the sacrifice he has done for his wife Della. The sacrifice of both these people, okay, this couple is the main theme of the chapter. Okay, so let me explain you all the chapter in my words here. Just see. The story of the gift of Magi, which is written by O. Henry, follows a young married couple who sacrifices their most prized possessions to buy a Christmas gift for one another. Though the story tells the tale of two people, a large portion of the story involves following Della on her quest to find the gift for Jim. Who is Jim? Jim is her husband. The worry and unease that Della shows towards buying a gift is not caused by wanting to show love to her husband. But what does she fear of? She fears of rejection. The total chapter shows that Della, though she loves her husband very much, but still, rejection from her husband is a very major part of the chapter. Okay. Now, where does this rejection come from? Who will reject her? Okay. Della fears that by breaking tradition, she will also break James' heart, severing his love for her. Now, what is the tradition? The tradition of the family which they belonged to. Now, Jim and Della, they belonged to a very well-off family once upon a time. Okay. When I read the story for you, you will find out they lived in a very fine building with carpeted rooms, and there was a very nice gate, okay, with a name shield there, which shows that they belong to a very well-off family. Now, day by day, what happened? The income of the family just fell down. Okay, Jim, he could not bring that amount of money which was needed by the family to carry on with the total status which they used to carry on beforehand. Okay, so the problem arises from there. When Della, she wants to buy a very worthy gift for Jim, and Jim, he too wants to buy a gift for Della which is worthy of her. Now, this worthiness comes from where? It comes from the love which they bear for each other. Okay. Now, when I come down, just see here. Bella runs and ransacks stores, looking for the gift that she wanted for her husband. Her ransacking of the store symbolizes and can be compared to Jim, who can be safely said ransacked his brain. Now, why did Jim ransack his brain? Because he was quite concerned that he could not bring that amount of money home which was needed in order to run the family in the manner how they used to run it beforehand. Okay. On one next option, he was to take after the pay cut. There was a cut in his pay. Okay. So he was just thinking how will he able to run his family properly. So though Della was ransacking the stores, Jim was also ransacking his brain completely there in his office because he also wanted to give a gift to Della which is worthy of his wife. Okay. She eventually is able to find a gift and hurries home. Now she gets a gift, okay, which is worthy of her husband, and she runs back home in order to find out what was the amount she had kept. Now, when I read the story for you all from the book, you will see what was the extreme labor, what was the extreme problem she had taken up in order to hold that amount of money in order to buy the gift. She had to bully the greengrocer. She had to bully the person in the shop in order to save a small amount of money which she could held on to buy a gift for her husband. Okay. The next scene when Della arrives home and takes the moment to fix her hair up before her husband arrives home. Now here comes the next part of the story. Why is she fixing her hair? Actually, Della, when she returned back home choosing the gift, she found that the amount she had at home was not proper to buy the gift. It was very less in amount. Okay. Now let me tell you all children, this family has had two very precious gifts. What was those? One was Della's long hair. He looked so beautiful in the hair that it is said that even if the King Solomon would move down her window while she was drying her hair after a bath, even King Solomon would like her hair so much that he would look at her twice. So this was a very precious possession of Della. Now what was the precious possession which Jim had? Jim had a watch, a golden rimmed watch, which he got from his forefathers. Now, what did they do? I'll just tell you all. Okay. Now, here comes a scene when I see that Della, she arrives home and takes the moment to fix her hair up. Now, why does she fix her hair up? What does Della do in between this time? So that she has got to fix her hair up? She just goes to a salon where she sells her hair, the precious possession which she had, which made her so beautiful. She did not even care for her beauty. She just sold her hair, and the amount which she got from there, she bought the prize, she bought the gift which she had chosen for her husband. Now, after she had done with her hair, she was very afraid because Jim might reject her that evening. The rejection which I was talking beforehand was about the rejection from her husband, which she was afraid of because she loved her family from the core of her heart. Okay? Okay. Now the line here, you all understand everybody? When Della arrives home and takes the moment to fix her hair up before her husband arrives home. This symbolizes her ability to imitate before her husband and turn a bad situation into a good situation. So this is also a quality of everybody when we live at home. Okay, there are situations at home when everything is not very favorable for every one of us. But here lies our efficiency when we turn a very wrong situation into a very happy moment at home. That is your ability which you should learn because happiness is the only thing which will make you all healthy and bright. Okay, now this is most relevant to say that Della and her husband are equally matched in how they make decisions. Now, what was the second decision which is being said here? See, I have written down decisions. What is the second decision here? The decision which Jim had done. Jim had taken, of course. What was the decision? Now, Jim, he had taken a decision to sell off his golden watch because he wanted to gift Della a very wonderful comb for her hair. A comb which was made of ivory, okay, and which had many stones sparkling in it. This comb had been liked by Della once when she had gone out for marketing with her husband. Now Jim remembered that, and it was that gift which he wanted to present her. Now what did he do? He just went to a shop, sold his watch, and bought that gold ivory comb. Okay, now see, and how they make decisions in explaining in how both could give up their most precious possessions in thought of one another. So what do we find out here? That both of them, they could just give away their very precious possessions in order to just bring happiness for each other. They just thought of one another when they sold off their things. They did not think of themselves. Okay? They just thought about their whole family. Okay? Now, when I come down, just see here. Thinking of the other person is what causes the story to reveal situation irony in its ending. Okay, why? Because Della and Jim have met the results of the action. Why? Because in the story they are compared with Magi. Now, who is a Magi? Do you all know, children? You all know that when Jesus Christ was born, there were three wise men who came to welcome the baby Jesus with lots of gifts with them. These three wise men are the Magi who were messengers of God from heaven. So here we find that Jim and Della, they are compared with those three Magi's. Okay, the writer says here that they are such wonderful creations of the earth that they do not even think of themselves when they think about their family. This is what is the story gift of Magi. Now we all here are gift of God. We all have got special qualities within ourselves. The only thing is that we can only use our special qualities in order to make our family happy. Okay? Now let's see what is written next. Della and Jim Dillingham have met the result of their actions, and that is Della has cut and sold her hair to receive a gift of hair clips, and Jim has sold his watch to receive a watch chain. What did Della buy? Della bought a wonderful chain for the golden watch which Jim had. Okay. So now at the end of the story, they find that Jim and Della, both the gifts which they bought, very useless. But do you find that the gifts are useless for them? Both the gifts are the symbols of love which they bear for their family. So it was a wonderful gift for the total family. Okay. The fact that Jim has sold the watch which has been in his family for years, and chose to sacrifice the tradition of passing along the watch is ironic. Okay, it's an irony here. Jim has broken one tradition. That is, he has sold away the watch which belongs to his family to enter into another one. Yes, the clip which he bought for Della that can carry on the tradition of their family. Isn't it so? So, what do we find? That Jim has broken one tradition and entered into another tradition of the family. The tradition of making hard sacrifices for those you love. What does the family show us? The family shows a very hard sacrifice for every person you love in your life. Okay? Della, who is unaware of the sacrifice that was made on her behalf, was also unaware that the tradition that she wanted to avoid breaking was broken by her husband also. Della confirms that the tradition of exchanging gifts is broken when her husband says, "Let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while," but is reassured that tradition is still present when they spend Christmas enjoying each other's company. Okay, so this is what is the total chapter. Okay, so this I have just explained to you all. After that, I'll read the chapter for you all. Please follow the chapter properly and we'll be doing question answers from here. Okay, thank you.